Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Let me know if the sound is good. Do a little sound check.
Yeah,
Welcome.
check.
Welcome to Thursday stream. A little bit of a special Thursday update stream.
Yeah, this is the replacement update stream.
You have two Connors today.
Yeah.
There's another American Connor and another American.
You have Redneck Connor and Upside Down Connor.
The British Empire Redneck. Welcome. If you are new to stream, we try and stream every Thursdays, and usually it's update stream, which is Connor or one of us sitting in the chair, kind of running through some things. But this week we thought, because the We Played God campaign is live, that we would play a game and hang out, do a Q&A. It's going to be a bit of a chill stream. We're just going to enjoy playing a game. You guys will be able to ask us questions. If you do have questions about existing fulfillment stuff, we're happy to answer those.
Yep.
We might answer them at the end though, but generally speaking, we're just going to kind of hang out. We put some fancy lighting up.
Yeah. I love the mood lighting. It's nice.
It's very cool. We've even got a little window light over there. Special little, it's got a little
see this?
effect.
We're in prison.
Connor says he liked the old one better, so that's good to know.
Good.
Thank you for that.
Noted. We'll write that down.
Yeah, we're just going to kind of chat for a little bit while some more people trickle in. Welcome. If you've backed We Played God, we're happy to have you.
Yes, thank you.
We are super excited with how the campaign is going.
Yeah,
and that's
it's
an
been
understatement.
incredible.
The goal was 10,000, and I like saying this, like that was the legitimate goal.
Yeah.
Like, we set that because that was what we needed to print the books and print some of the tokens and all that kind of thing. And it's like completely exceeded any of our
by far
expectations, which is both a good problem to have and one that we've kind of had to adjust to. We had to do a whole bunch more stretch goals and all of those, except one have been unlocked, which has been awesome. We feel quietly confident that we might get past the 200,000 by the end.
I want those sculpts, man. I want them.
I have our friend Steve doing the sculpts currently for it, and if they don't get unlocked, we'll just release them at a later date. But we'll see. I'd be interested to see what the final number is. But huge thank you to everyone who's jumped on board with that.
Yeah, it's been really, really good.
There's a lot of people that have been like, wow, this is literally the game I've been waiting for, which is kind of always a good thing. We kind of, in some ways, got that a little bit after we released Don't Look Back. It was like, we kind of managed to hit on a type of combination of game that like really kind of scratched that itch for some people. And I think this has kind of done a similar thing. And it's been really cool to see the response. Lots of people like creating dinosaurs.
Yeah.
There's a guy in the Discord today who's scratch building a piece of terrain out of a T-box.
Which was super cool, and it looked really good.
I was super into that. So yeah, it's been a really, really awesome last couple of weeks.
Somebody said, will we be able to buy Dino STLs in the future? Yes.
Yes.
The physical versions, these guys, these are only going to be available during the campaign, where we print them and send them to you as the physical minis. The game will continue to exist digitally as STLs, probably forever. We will have the books, obviously, that we will continue to sell after this, but as far as physical products go, these will no longer be available from us.
Yeah. The reasoning for that, like we've said in the past, we really wanted to make this project tariff-proof. The only way for us to produce these dinosaurs physically in any realistic price point for the customer is to either make them in like PVC or plastic. That would require us to produce them either in Europe or China, which is just not really safe right now for us. Maybe in the future, if We Played God continues to do really well and people want a source for like, you know, low cost dinosaurs, that's something we'd be happy to look at.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely on the table. We just can't commit to producing them physically outside of the campaign because we're not really set up for that much printing.
Yeah.
Will you let people sell STL on Etsy for those of us without resin printers? No, we don't typically like license our prints to other printers. I won't rule that out if someone contacts us and they have a store. That's just typically not something we do.
Up until this point, though, we have produced everything physically. And so for us to allow the STLs out into the wild for people to undercut us didn't make sense.
Yeah,
right?
I mean...
Now, though, with us not producing them physically, it's possible.
It's definitely possible, yeah.
But we don't know at this point.
I won't rule that out. It's, we'd need to find the right type of partner to work with on that. We typically like to keep things pretty close hold with like people we work with. And, you know, we just want to make sure people are vetted and if they're going to be selling our product, I want to make sure that they're doing it in the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of dinosaurs, as you can see. We printed out a full set. There's a couple that need some very minor scaling tweaks, but these are pretty close.
They're pretty close to the finals,
I
think.
The finals will be, which is really cool. These are also like printed with the production settings too, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
We don't really have a camera that I can like show them close in any way that's going to be useful.
We could try it on that one if you want to try.
Hang on,
I don't know if it'll autofocus to them. It always struggles to autofocus.
He's gonna eat the dice.
Nom nom.
Let's see if I can. I don't know if this will focus or not.
Yeah,
I apologize.
It's focusing a little bit. There's the Giga.
Yeah.
Look at that boy.
This is actually my favorite.
Me too. I love the spines that you put on his back.
So I don't know if that's super useful. We've had a couple of people be like, "What are the qualities of the prints?" We use a really good resin mix that has a lot of like bend to it. So like, I don't want to say if you were to drop this dinosaur on the floor, it would be 100% okay, but it's going to have a lot more resistance.
It's not going to shatter.
It's not going to shatter,
normal
no.
resin. Yeah. You'll have like a tail break off.
I've taken models that have like really thin guns and they've just like fallen on the ground and they've all been okay. So that's I think going to be pretty useful for people. So yeah, I think Doug, do you want to kind of take us through? What we are going to play today.
So if you guys watched the little gameplay showcase that we put up on the Gamefound, that game that Connor and I played was designed to kind of give a rounded out view of all of the different mechanics, right? That mission actually takes place about halfway through the narrative campaign. And so those characters already have a bit of gear, they have some bonuses, they have some stuff already applied to them. What we're going to be playing today is one of the first Zone 1 missions. When you first start the game, you and your friends will need to pick a hideout. For today, we've picked the Visitor Center. The hideout determines how many supplies you start with and what survivors you get. Okay? Survivors in this game are a resource that if you lose them, you fail out the campaign. You have to keep people alive. If they die in game, they're gone.
So if all of your pool of survivors die, you have to start.
You start over
again.
Yep, you start over. The whole idea is if you're going to be able to get everybody safely off the island.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So for the Visitor Center, we start out with 4 supplies. Now, supplies are a currency that you will use to attempt scenarios. Okay. There's 2 different types of scenarios in the game. There's supply scenarios where you're gaining more supplies, and there's story scenarios which are actually used to progress the narrative parts of the game. Okay. The scenario that we played on the gameplay showcase was a story scenario. Okay, so it was designed for us to go in, try to get a vehicle, and make it to the next zone of Eden. This one is not. This is a supply scenario. So we're going to be coming in here. This is the restaurant. We have to come in and try to gather up some scavenge tokens and get off the board with them and try to stay alive, not get eaten.
So this is not really designed to advance the narrative. This
Nope.
is you would play this in between.
Correct.
Can you play more than one supply mission in between?
Yes, and you'll
stuff?
probably need to. Okay. So the way it works, each zone has 3 unique supply scenarios, and they all offer different things. Okay, so this one being literally probably the first one that everybody will play in the book because it's Zone 1, Mission 1. These are designed to be very simple. You need to go in, get tokens, and leave. That's it.
Alive.
Alive, preferably alive. Yeah. But as you get further in the zones, these supply scenarios will offer a lot more unique situations, encounters. For example, we have at some point your survivors make it to the triage unit in the restricted area of Eden.
That's cool.
And so when you get there, there's a whole bunch of medical supplies and all of these different buildings that are designed to sedate the animals so that they can treat them if they need to be treated.
That's cool.
And there's obviously some unique mechanics in that scenario where you can try to trap these dinos inside these buildings.
I like that.
So each scenario is a little bit different. Now, the supply scenarios cost 1 supply to attempt. Okay? We start with 4.
Okay.
Costs us 1 to attempt it no matter how many survivors go on the mission. We get to pick how many and what survivors we actually bring into the mission.
Gotcha.
Okay? So we have to be a little careful. We could just take all 6 of our survivors, but if we lose 3 of them, then we're in trouble. Right? So you have to kind of play the balance game.
There's some risk and reward here that
Exactly.
you're going to have to figure out. It's
Exactly.
like if you ever played any of those video games where it's I don't want to say extract style, but it's
Right.
you're going to make some choices, you know? Maybe you want to take it cautiously at the beginning, see how you go.
So the reason that matters is because your story scenarios cost a number of supplies per survivor that you want to attempt it. So the Zone 1 costs 2 supplies per survivor. So theoretically, if we wanted to speed run the game, we could try the Story 1 scenario right from the beginning with 2 survivors. It's going to be tough, and we're going to have no more supplies
lucky,
left.
though.
So if we fail, we can't even go on a supply mission.
That's going to be funny if people get their hands on this game and they're like, how can I speed run the
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
Get through the entire narrative in
Exactly.
6 sessions. That'd be
So
funny.
currently the balance is designed to where you play a mission, you do moderately well at it, you go through the 3 supply scenarios, and you have enough to take most of your crew to the story mission.
Cool.
With a little bit left over at the end. Now, if you go to the story scenario and you fail, you got to get supplies so you can attempt it again.
Yeah.
Right? So we're starting out at the very beginning. We currently, I'm not going to worry about the patrons for this game because they're not as fun to watch.
Yeah.
We've got a staff, a security, a kid, and a programmer. Those are available to us. Now, we can choose to take all 4 of those. We can choose to take 2. We can take 3. However many we want.
I mean, I think it'd be cool to use the kid and the staff, maybe.
Okay. Kid and staff.
Because you guys played with these two last time, right?
Right.
Also, shout out to Chromatic. We literally just got some
yeah.
of these fresh painted minis.
They are awesome.
And they look awesome. I mean, we could do...
Just play those two?
Yeah, but...
have a couple more each?
I mean, what if we played with just 3?
Yeah, we can play with 3.
So let's do...
Either one of these is going to be beneficial?
Let's do these 3.
All right. Now, the items that we start with 2 trauma tourniquets, which give you bonuses when you use the medical skill.
Okay.
We have 2 packs of cigarettes. Don't smoke, kids.
Great. I'm going to play as the kid, and I'm just going to smoke
the whole time? Yeah. It lowers your stress. And then we have an energy drink, a single one, which will allow us to dig deep for free. You get to take an extra action without gaining stress.
Awesome.
So those are currently in our hideout. If we want to bring them into the game, we have to decide that at the beginning of the game.
If you die, do you lose them?
Yes.
So that's a resource.
Yes. And when we pick up scavenge tokens, we will get to roll for items at the same time.
So we'll find additional stuff.
We will potentially find things as we're looting anyway.
That's cool.
So my vote, since it's the first game of our campaign, we're just starting out, I say we don't bring anything.
I say we bring something.
Okay.
Let's bring... What do you think? Maybe the one of the trauma... How many trauma?
We have 2. We have 2 traumas, 2 cigarettes, and 1 energy drink.
Maybe let's just bring 1 trauma, 1 tourniquet, and 1 cigarette pack.
Okay, sounds good. So let's give the security guard, we'll give him the cigarettes.
Okay.
Makes sense. He's on smoke break. And we'll give the staff the trauma tourniquet.
Isn't this set slightly in the future? Maybe he has a vape instead of cigarettes.
There you go. It might
He's
be
got
a
his grapefruit flavored
That's
vape.
Right. It is near future, but I feel like in the near future, vapes probably don't exist again, and it's back to cigarettes.
I can tell you right now, people will be smoking cigarettes until the end of time. But anyway, so we're going to go on with 3.
I think so.
And that's our entire pool is 4.
Well, our entire pool would be 6.
6.
So we get 2 patrons. I'm just not worrying about them for this. So patrons won't have special abilities like the specific classes do, but you get to pick what stats they're good at.
Exactly. So the patron, for those of you following at home, is kind of like you build your own.
Yeah, kind of.
It'd be like, I want to build myself in the game. Or I want to build me and my wife or girlfriend or child or whatever. You know, it's like, you just find whichever mini you want that you think is cool, and you kind of just build it however you like.
Exactly.
The rest of them kind of are a little bit more defined.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
It's an excuse. Like, a lot of our customers already have the DLB minis or some of the civilian minis or whatever you have. The patrons are just an excuse for you to be able to slot in whatever cool mini you have that you want to be in Eden running from Dinosaurs.
Yeah. And, you know, it should go without saying, like, the game's miniature agnostic. Like, we have a whole miniature range for it, but, like, if you want to play, like, just buy the book and just find whatever you want. I mean, you could sub the dinosaurs out for demons if you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's pretty open, so. All right. Speaking of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about what dinosaurs are going to be on the table?
So the mission that we're playing, we're going into the restaurant, and one of the first things that you need in these survival situations is food, right? We've got to get set up, or we're not going to be able to last a while.
Cheeseburger
exactly.
And a Diet Coke.
So we're going into the restaurant to try to get some supplies. But when we get there, we find out that there's a para. We see him on the outside, and there's a raptor hanging out inside.
Should I cut to this?
Yeah.
I'll do a little free cam
movement here. A little sneaky peek at that raptor boy.
Oh yeah, all right, look at that.
Professionally painted by yours truly in about 3 minutes with contrast
I was
paint.
like, Doug, you need to paint a dinosaur. So shout out to Doug for doing that.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's good enough at 3 feet away with the camera and on the screen.
So I intentionally sculpted the dinosaurs with as much texture as possible. So
this one you really see it on.
If you want to like dry brush them, like I can tell you right now, you could paint all of these dinosaurs in like a very small amount of time.
Yeah, they're very
cool. If you just want to get them painted, like there's so much texture and like wrinkles and definition, it'll be very, very easy to paint them. And I think if you want to take more time on them, that's fine.
For sure.
They'd look equally as good. But
for sure.
That's just something to note. if you want to get them all painted.
So
Great.
we're starting with one carnivore, one herbivore. They will activate during the dinosaur turn, and we'll see what they do. The herbivores, while they are not normally super aggressive, they will come after us if we get close to them and mess with them.
I mean, they're animals.
Yeah. And we're much smaller than they are.
Is a dinosaur an animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're much smaller than they are, so they're still gonna gonna try to run us over.
Be like an elephant in the wild.
Exactly.
It's not. They're not.
It's not trying to eat
elephants
you.
can be quite aggressive, but I mean, they're not known to be like insanely deadly. They don't eat humans.
Right.
But if you mess with them, they're gonna stomp you. So.
100%. Exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess let's kick things off.
Yeah, let's do it.
Someone said, I think I'll try and scale this up to 1/18th scale so I can use my Jurassic Park.
That's cool.
1/18th scale.
That's big.
This would probably end up being like.
It'd probably be 4x4. It'd be close to 4x4. Because a 1/18th scale car is about like this.
It could be doable.
So,
it could be doable.
You could just about double everything, and it would be pretty close. Yeah, I think so.
Great. Well, we're gonna start playing. Please feel free to drop as many questions as you want in chat. We'll try and pick some up as we're playing.
Yeah.
But we also may go back later and answer them.
Yeah, most of the QA stuff is going to be at the end after we play.
But if a question comes up, please feel free to ask it.
Yeah, for sure.
All
right.
Sweet.
So we'll start with Survivor Turn.
All right.
There is not, for this specific mission, there is not a limited amount of game turns. So we'll just go survivors, dinos, back and forth until we're done.
Awesome.
So, all right. The security guard, conveniently, comes with his access card.
Okay.
So he has the ability to get into secure areas. Now, we do have one secure area here, which is this little room inside the restaurant. Okay.
It's like the little back room.
Yeah, and it's locked up back behind the counter. So he can unlock this door just as an action because he has the security card. The staff member is really good at scavenging things.
Yeah.
So any scavenge token that they finish the game with counts as 2 supplies instead of 1, which is really beneficial for us.
Whoa, that's super good.
Yeah.
That's super good.
The kid has a really fun ability.
Okay.
She can roll a stealth test to move through terrain.
Oh, so
Now-
you could just like move through a wall.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. She can fit through these narrow, like, little nooks and crannies that the adults can't fit into.
That's
she
super.
can't move into the secure area like that.
Okay.
But she can move in and out of other areas.
Yeah.
So she might be useful to try to get, into a sneaky place.
That's sweet. Awesome.
The goal of the mission, our minor objective is to collect 2 scavenge tokens. Major objective is to collect 4.
Okay.
So if we can collect 4, we score them both, and we get both rewards.
Cool. Sweet. All right. Well, let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
Before we get started, it should go without saying that
This is a good point.
we are playing what we are going to consider a alpha version of the game. So there's plenty of random rules development stuff that's still happening.
Yep.
So anything that you see in this is technically subject to change.
Right.
It would be very weird if we changed a lot about the game at this point. It doesn't need it, but there's going to be some things. There might be some scuff. We might play this and all our survivors might die immediately. You never really know. It's part of the game.
Because understand, this is technically still playtesting.
Yeah.
The game has been through probably, I would say between us and the community, we've played maybe 30 to 50 games of it.
Yeah, it's been played a lot. Also,
it's played enough that we can sell it and we know it works.
Yeah. Shout out to the playtesters.
Oh yeah, the WPG playtesters are incredible.
Yeah, lots of people playing.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that if any of the stuff seems a little like, I don't know, like if there's any weirdness or anything, just know that this is an alpha version. So if you get your game in Q1 of next year and some random mechanic that you saw on this video isn't in it, then that could be why.
That's probably why.
Just be warned.
Yeah, and any values of like stats or specific abilities, those are the things that are most likely to change. As we go through and work with balancing, we may decide like, this raptor just isn't doing what it needs to do, or oh, it's way too dangerous at the first zone, whatever it is.
Anyone who has written a game or worked on developing a game would know that typically you're balancing stats right up until the very end.
And they're still not balanced when you release it.
It's like no amount of playtesting can ever catch or balance everything.
Exactly.
It just, it's just part of the deal of making games. Great. Well, let's go.
All right. So we will need to get in and get these scavenge tokens. There's one out back here, 2 inside, and then 3.
Let me show people on the free cam.
Yeah. We've got 1 back here at this little pile of trash. Okay. We've got 1 inside on the table here, and then 1 on these shelves. And we've got 3 stacked up in the secure room.
So this is juicy, right?
Yeah. Now, if we want to get the major objective, we have to get into this room because there's not 4 on the table.
Sorry if this camera's a little shaky. If that's making anyone like motion sick, let us know.
We do have a terminal on the inside that we'll be able to access and potentially use that to open the door as well. So
we haven't really spoken about like the classified entry things, which we probably don't really need to get.
There's not one. There's not one in this game, so we won't run into it.
If you're curious about that, there's you can look at the one from the gameplay video and go to the We Play Gold website. See if you can find the code, the hidden code, and put that in there and get hidden information.
Exactly.
There's been a few people that have found that, which has been interesting.
It's fun. It is fun.
So great. Let's get started. And
all right.
See if we can.
I'm a little worried about this thing.
Okay.
I rolled randomly where to put it, and this is where it went, and it kind of like cuts off our whole access to the back of the building on this side. So I kind of feel like maybe we start pushing that way.
Is this where we deploy right here?
Yep, we start on this table edge.
Okay. I'm going to control the staff member.
Okay.
And then if you want to play
me
the
to do the
security
others?
and the kit, and then we can just decide together with the kit.
Yeah. All right, so movement is 3 inches. We get to perform 2 actions per turn. So I think the kid is just going to move over here to the corner. Try to get set up to maybe get a little closer to the building. I think if we can get the kid around to this side.
Yeah, because the kid could go around here and get this point. And then go through the wall.
And then come inside.
Which is actually not a bad idea.
Each character can only hold 2 scavenge tokens. So we'll have to have at least 2 loaded up with them.
Now, this guy has the cigarettes.
Yep.
Who has the tourniquet? This guy?
This guy has the tourniquet.
Okay, let's... I mean, it probably makes sense to take the staff member through here, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I
think so.
He also can move 6?
So 3 inches is a normal move. You can run 6 as a single action, but you make a noise. And whenever you make noise, you're going to start pulling the predators.
But I could move twice.
You can move 3, then move 3. Yep. Okay. And not make any noise.
Let's do that, because there's not really anything else I would like do right now, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I'm going to use both my moves and go there.
Okay. I think the security guard might try to move around this. We're going to say this truck's a little big for scale, but we're going to say anything under like an inch you can move over freely. So we're just going to say the bed of this truck is that, because he's going to move around to here.
It's not really very hard to climb over a truck bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're a super macho security guy.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have all activated. Now we're going to activate with the dinosaurs. Okay. Now, no, we haven't made any noise, so we're not going to modify their rolls or anything based on noise. The first thing that we're going to do is check to see if they feed or if they graze. Okay, and that is specific to each dinosaur. So the para says it'll graze when it begins its turn with no carnivores or survivors within 3 inches. Okay, so there's nobody within 3 inches of it. So what it's going to do is move 2 inches in a random direction and just sit there.
Okay.
Because it's just mulling around, eating some stuff.
Yep,
Okay,
just
so
munching.
why don't you pick a dice for me and roll a scatter?
The D8.
Yep.
Gonna
So
go
he's going
that
to kind
way.
of move back this way a couple inches.
Also, we're just using the direction on a D8 to as the pointer. So
Yeah. Whenever you're scattering in games like this, you can use D10, D20, D8, anything that has a point at the top, and then just go the direction that the point lands. All right, now we'll check the raptor.
For the scatter, you might want to roll it on the main board so that everybody knows exactly where it's.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. So the raptor says he'll feed when it begins its turn within 6 inches of a body token, and there are no survivors within 6 inches in line of sight. Now, I think he can see the staff member through the door, but he is not within the 6 inches.
Okay.
So he's going to feed by moving over to this body that's already here and removing it from the table. Now, if the raptor was already wounded, he'd gain some health for that.
He gets his health back from eating.
That's right.
Can these body tokens? Do they have any other purpose? Can you search them? Can you do anything?
When they are generated by one of your survivors dying, then you can search it to try to get the items back.
Gotcha.
You don't always.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty tough because most of the time, if a carnivore is on top of a survivor and they turn them into a body token, they're most likely going to feed on them the next turn.
You're not going to have time to go and try and go through their pockets.
Exactly.
Hang
on, Mr. Dinosaur. Let me grab his things.
He's got my vape. I need that back.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Okay, so that's the dinosaurs.
Yep, that's it for Dinosaur turn 1.
It's our turn now?
It's our turn. I'm a little worried about that raptor being inside.
Okay, so this question's come up a little bit, and I think that it's important based on the type of game that it is. So this is a survival game. This is not, you're not going to go in here with a Glock and start shooting up dinosaurs, okay? It's not that type of game.
Yeah.
You've got to try and figure out how to get through the game and survive, and there's a way to subdue dinosaurs, like the security guard has
you can get a tranquilizer rifle. Yeah.
Does he
we
have
don't
one?
have one.
He doesn't have one. Okay.
No,
So you have to really try and figure out how to survive, and that's the type of game this is.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that because I think there's been a few people that I don't want people to think this is some.
To be clear, the core game is that. Seraph Directive will be a little different, which everybody's getting. You can't just get the book without the expansion. Seraph Directive, you're playing as a special task force that's coming in to try to save some bigwig from the island.
So that'll have a bit more of that.
Oh yeah, all of those guys will be armed. They'll be kind of fighting the dinos a little bit. There'll be a little more combat between you and the dinosaurs, but in this one, I mean, you're a kid. You don't have a hand grenade on you to deal with a T-Rex.
No,
okay?
a kid's not going to pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Shoot someone. Shoot a dinosaur.
Exactly.
All right, staff member. I'm just going to keep. Okay, so we need to watch the vision on this raptor, right?
Exactly. They have a 180-degree front arc, so everything pointed forward, everything there he can see.
So I could. There's not really any way that I'm going to be able to sneak in here, right?
Probably not. Now, what we can do is I can bring the security guard over here and try to make some noise.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it probably, if we draw him out this way, though, it's going to kind of block off this area. Would it make sense to try and draw him out this way?
We could try to pull him into the parasaur, so maybe they take a little bit of time doing that. Could keep him busy for a turn or two.
Yeah, we could move this guy out to here and actually make some noise out here, but then he'd potentially be in danger.
Well, herbivores will run away from sound. When they hear sound, they're going to run away from it. They don't run to it.
Right.
So that may be the play.
Maybe we try that. Because I think if the raptor comes out here, then we're blocked off on both sides.
Yeah, that's true. We won't be able to get around behind the building at all. Yeah. But it would give us access to the inside of the building.
Which is also a good thing. So, I don't know, chat. What do you think?
The security guard does have the key, the security card. So
yeah, we don't want him to die.
We don't necessarily want him outside.
I think this lowly fast food looking staff member is going to be the sacrificial lamb.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do 3 this way. Take him out here.
Okay.
And then make some noise.
Okay. Yeah, so the way you have an action that's just a distract action where you can place a noise token within 2 inches of you.
Let's do it.
All right, where do you want to put it at?
Within 2 inches, maybe like here.
Okay.
Is that 2?
Yep.
Yes, basically 2.
Perfect. All right, so as soon as we place the noise token, the dinosaurs are going to react, even though it's not their turn. Okay? So he is going to move half of his speed away from the sound. So he's going to move 3 inches over here.
Okay.
And the raptor is going to move half of his speed towards the sound.
Which is?
His aggressive speed is 9 inches.
Whoa!
So he will move 5 inches towards it.
So he's going to be right up against this door.
Yeah.
Which actually might not be a good thing for us. We'll see.
All right.
The real question is, can he open doors in this?
They can open doors.
Get his little grippers around
Yeah, that's
that
right.
door handle?
Yep. Okay. I think with him paying attention over to that side, I'm going to try to make a run for the front of the building.
So if you make a run, you're going to make a noise,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then will that immediately activate them again?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, I'm not actually going to run. I'm going to do
gotcha.
3 and then 3.
Right.
But I'm going to actually start my way towards the building. And I think the kid...
Someone said aggro the raptor towards the herbivore.
Well, that's the trick, right? Is we can attempt to do that, but every time we place a noise, they're going to be chasing each other. And that's done intentionally for balance, so you can't just always run them into an herbivore and then never have to deal with them, right?
Cool. All right. Well,
Okay.
it's the dino turn.
Yep.
No?
Herbivore is going to graze, so let's roll a scatter die because there's nothing close to him. He's going to move 2 inches back this way, so he's going towards the back of the building.
Okay.
And then we'll do the raptor. Now, he is not going to feed because there's not a body close to him. Okay? We are going to roll his behavior dice. Now, the way that starts is we got to decide if he's going to be aggressive or passive. Okay? His aggression die is a D6. He is going to get a +1 to that roll because he has a survivor in line of sight. He's going to get another +1 to that roll because there's 1 noise on the board.
Yeah.
Okay? So he is most likely going to be aggressive. The only time he would be passive is if you roll a 1.
Gotcha. And what am I rolling?
D6.
1d6.
1d6. A 1, he'll be passive.
All right, you want to give me the dice cam, Mr. Media Matt, since it's the first kind of
the
pivotal roll?
The first roll of the game.
Okay, so a 1 is good.
Yeah.
A
So the
1
way
is
it works is low is passive, high is aggressive.
Okay.
The modifiers are adding or subtracting to that roll. Okay? So a noise and line of sight each add, like, I guess they're technically subtracting 1 from what you have to hit to make him aggressive.
Gotcha.
It makes it more likely that he's aggressive.
Okay. All right. Prayers.
2 through 5, he's aggressive. A 1, he's passive.
Well, it was a 1.
It is a 1. I'm not going to touch it.
But I rolled it off camera.
I'm not going to touch it.
It's a 1. Look at that. I'm telling you, I brought the juice today for my rolling.
All right, so he is passive. Roll a D4 now to see what he does.
D4. It's a 4.
A 4. Barks into the air with a throaty growl. All survivors within 6 inches gain a stress.
Uh-oh. Well, I would be stressed too if I heard a raptor make a noise.
You are within 6, and the security guard is within 6. Okay. So each one of them are going to gain a stress.
Someone said, how can I become a playtester? So just join our Discord if you're not already in the Discord. We aren't accepting any new playtesters right now, but that'll probably change in the coming months.
Yeah.
And that'll be the only place where we'll put that out. So make sure you join the Discord. And there's like a playtesting applications thing. You can post in there if you want, but really it's just keep an eye out.
When we're ready for the next big phase of playtesting, which will probably be around the week after the campaign closes, something like that, I'll tag everybody in the Discord and just say, like, if you're interested, here's the requirements, here's what we need from you, this is what the commitment is. If you can do that, send me a DM and we'll get you going.
Sweet.
All right. That's it for the dinosaur turn. We'll remove this noise now that it's affected the dinosaurs.
This dinosaur's just peering his little head out of
He
the
is.
hamburger store.
Hello. All right. That staff member probably needs to get out of his line of sight. I'm going to be honest.
This guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could move him over here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think we take him 3 to here.
Uh-huh.
We could have him do another noise if we want to bring the
Honestly,
dinosaur all the way out.
I think if we can get the dinosaur out of this building, that's probably going to be the best
Okay.
thing because there's all this cover around here that we could move back around from.
Yeah.
That I think might give us some protection, but I think getting him out of the building is probably going to be a better call.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because if we want to try and we want to go for this, right? Is that kind of the plan?
We have to, yeah,
Yeah.
if we want to get the major objective, which I do.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because the major objective allows us to give one of these characters a permanent +1 bonus to one of their stats, which is big.
Cool.
That would help us a lot.
Let's do it. I'm going to
Okay.
start stomping my feet.
You want to put this like over here?
Yeah.
2 inches in line of sight, but that way he's not coming towards you.
Yeah,
All right.
I think so. I think that's a good plan.
So he's going to go 5 towards it.
I'm going to pull out
which
my
will get
phone
him
and
about
start
right
playing
here.
TikTok super loud or whatever they have in the future.
Yeah. So here's something that may come up as a question. This door was closed, right? Because we hadn't opened it yet. Dinosaurs and characters just move through doors. It doesn't take a whole lot of work to open or push through a door. So unless it's a secure door, you just move through it. It doesn't take an action to open or anything like that.
Once a secure door is open, it's open.
Then it's just a normal door.
So then a dinosaur could like come in.
100%. Yeah,
So-
100%.
Yeah, it's little things like that. Like it just keeps the game moving. It keeps things kind of simple enough, and then that way you can focus on where the complexity is important, which
Yeah.
is some of the more unique.
So one of the things, for anybody that's new that hasn't played our games before, one of the things that we try to do, especially with games like this, is we're trying to build those cinematic moments rather than making like a perfect chess game with perfect rules, right? So there will be things that get abstracted,
Yeah.
like walking through a door.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't make much sense for me to have players have to spend an action to open a door, or dinosaurs have to like roll something to see if they get through it. It's much easier to just say, okay, he's out here now.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And you can always house rule stuff too. If you
For
want.
sure.
If you want more complexity, it's easy to add on, but it's harder to kind of take away if it's baked into
Exactly.
the game. So.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
I'm going to move 3 inside and then go ahead and get to the front of this door. Now, I'm not going to be able to go ahead and unlock it yet. But
That's an action in itself, right?
Yeah. Unlocking the door is an action. So we'll have to do
Unlocking
that
this
next
door
turn.
is an
Yeah.
action, yeah.
This one's not, but this secure door, we're going to have to spend an action to actually do that.
What's the kid?
For the
gonna
kid.
do?
Still
in
working
the-
towards the back of the building,
Get in the cop car and drive around.
leaving. I think she's going to go, she can't quite make it to the edge of the building, but she's just going to go here. She's going to try to work her way around to the back to maybe pick one of these up.
Cool. Dino phase.
Dinos. Okay. No line of sight. Is he within 6 of this? I don't think he is. He is, barely.
Ooh, yeah, just.
So he's going to move over here, which is big helpful for us. And he's going to feed.
It's gonna munch that body.
Yep. Now that is the last one of those that we have. So, all right, this one roll a scatter die for me because there's nobody close to it.
Okay. Gonna roll out right here.
Yep. Okay. Moves to the corner. So this is the thing with scattering dinosaurs. If they ever try to do something that doesn't make sense, or like if this scatter would have brought it into a carnivore or something like that, I literally have a rule in the book that just says decide it does something different, right? Because with the scatter, it helps to set up cinematic moments where you're like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through here. Maybe it's going to turn on me. Maybe it isn't. But it also can lead to some weirdness with something like not acting right.
Yeah. Or
So in that situation where like it would go to the wall, I could have easily just decided, okay, it's going to move back here closer towards the back of the building, or oh, it's going to start coming back forward.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't change that much about the game.
Games like this really rely on you to have a narrative first mindset.
Exactly.
It's the same with like
Yep.
Don't Look Back and all that kind of thing. It's like if you're used to playing games that kind of set out every interaction that you'll ever do on the table, it might take a bit of adjustment. But once you get into it and once you start playing it, you'll realize that like that's not where you need to be worrying
Right.
or focusing on. The focus is on enjoying the rest
Right.
of like,
Anybody who's played
the
D&D
experience.
understands that. Like that's why 5e became so popular is because they cut out all of the bloat and just put a tag in the front of the book that said your GM just decides how this happens.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a cooperative game too. It's like Doug and I aren't playing against each other,
Exactly.
so we're trying to just like play.
There's
through
no
it.
argument about, well, he's turned the wrong way now and that's bad for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be that stressful. There's
Exactly.
enough stress in life for all of us than worrying about the small things.
Right.
Cool. All right. So
That brings us to player turn.
we're set up pretty well right now.
Yeah,
Right?
we're
we
in a
got the
good
guy,
spot.
just to give you a recap, we got our security guard here. He's chilling outside the locked door. The kid's ready to move in and get some extra stuff. And then we got Mr. Staff member over there is just making a ton of noise, distracting everyone.
He's just this little bike rack looking thing. He's just clanging a stick
Yeah,
on it,
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to get the raptor to come over.
Come get your dinner.
Exactly. Yep.
All right.
So I think we'll start with the security guard. Will just go ahead and open this door, right?
Yep.
He has the key card, so he just gets to do that.
Is that the security guard's key card? Is that like their ability?
Yep.
Okay, so it's not like an item they have.
No. Now there is a key card item that you can get.
Right.
But the security guard just has one baked in.
Yeah.
That he just has and he can use.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to make a 3-inch move into here to be ready to try to pick up one of those.
Oh, that kid. What do we want the kid to do? Do we want the kid to move around back, or do we want him to go in?
I'm not sure. So there's 3 right here. We could potentially get all 3 of these,
Yeah.
and then this one, and not even have to go back here.
That's a fair way to go. I mean, the kid would be the only one that would be able to do it because they can go through the terrain. But
Right.
I think we're set up pretty well here.
So I think what we could do is just do a 3-inch move with the kid to here, and then we'll try to sneak into the secure area now that it's not
Okay.
secured, right?
Do you need to roll for that?
Yeah, so that's going to be a stealth test. The kid rolls a d6, okay? Now, I've already used one action. If I wanted to, I could focus. I could take a focus this turn, which would give me +1 to my next test, right? So we've had a lot of people asking about the dice mechanic and how it works. The idea is that with having survivors that die so easily, if the dice mechanic punished a survivor for being bad at something, it would be very difficult as you got into the campaign to actually get through it, right? So pretty much every miniature on the table has a 50-50 shot of accomplishing something. But the ones that are good at it can raise that up to like a 70-80% chance. Right. And then we have what are called difficult tests that force you to roll die value, which is
means
the highest number on your die.
Which on like a D, what's the highest polyhedral you use?
D12.
So
for
you're rolling
stat.
a 12 on a D12. That's
Yeah, which is going to be twice as hard as on a D6, right?
Yeah.
3 times as hard as on a D4.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there is some benefit to making a specific survivor good at something, but it doesn't punish your other survivors for not being good.
Yeah,
at it.
we actually were talking about this just before stream a little bit, and like Doug said, his rationale was like everyone should have a shot to do everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise it's way too punishing, and it actually removes any ability to have like a cool cinematic moment where
Exactly.
someone does something that they're not supposed to normally be able to do.
Right.
But they've
Well,
got a shot at it.
Here's and there's no spoilers here, but anybody who's seen the new Jurassic Park movie, there's a scene exactly like that towards the end of the movie where a character who should not be able to accomplish a thing accomplishes a thing, and it matters a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So
That's a part of the
cinematic,
cinematic nature of the game is like, oh, all I have left is this guy who's really bad at something, but I got to give it a try, you know.
Does the basic printed book come with any tokens or anything to keep track of things? The tokens will be available as like a free PDF on the website. Sometimes we put them in the book. I can't say for sure, depend on like page count, but they'll just be available as a PDF.
Yeah, you'll be able to print them, and these tokens are also like pretty generic. I mean, if you already have miniature gaming tokens, you can probably sub those in for things in this game. Yeah. Would be my
Someone
guess.
else said, hey, so would it be possible to recreate Jurassic Park? Sure. Kind of.
Yeah, so this is specifically designed to be a narrative campaign, so you'll play through the specific scenarios in the book. You could skin it to Jurassic Park really
if you want
easy
to
if you
theme it
wanted.
to look like Jurassic Park, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt, you could do that. It's a 2.
It's a 2, so she fails. Okay, so she's not going to make it into the room.
Which does make sense because looking at this window right here, there's like a solid brick wall, so maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah, she couldn't quite fit through the spot she thought she could.
All right, well, you win some, you lose some, chap.
Yep. All right, last one up is the staff member. So what do we want? What do we want the staff to do?
Where do we have to? You can leave any table edge.
Currently, yes. For Zone 1, I have it set where you can leave any table edge.
That might get
Playtesters
harder.
are kind of like pushing against me on that, saying you should leave from the table edge you came in.
Okay.
We'll see. For this game, let's say we have to leave from the table edge we came in and give it a try.
Edge along here.
Yep.
Okay. Staff member has a tourniquet, right?
Yep.
We don't really want him to die. That's like kind of a valuable item.
It is.
I mean, should we just keep using this guy as like our noise machine, maybe?
We can. The Raptor's kind of in a good spot right now. I don't really want to pull him back onto the table.
I could move back down here.
Yeah, I think maybe coming down here and just getting ready to, like, if the Raptor starts pushing back into the building, you can drop some noise over here somewhere.
Move, 6 takes me to right there.
Yeah,
which I
perfect.
think is not a bad. Is there pre-measuring in this game?
For
Can
sure.
you measure like
yeah, for sure. No pre-measuring is a pretty competitive thing.
I mean, sometimes.
This is definitely not a competitive game.
Okay, so that's 9 inches from that Raptor right there. So.
Well, you are just close enough that his aggressive speed will get to you.
I was referring to the making of custom scenarios, i.e. making our own stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use the toolbox to make whatever you wanted. It just depends on how much homebrew you want to do, and
there'll be a scenario. There'll be a PDF scenario maker.
Yeah.
But whether you'll be able to like do it completely as you maybe, it's going to kind of have to be up to you. It's not. Yeah. Let me just put it this way: it is not our goal to just make Jurassic Park the game. So
not even remotely. Yeah.
Just understand that like you'll have to do a bit of like. Work on your end to probably make that.
Yeah,
work.
And the scenario generator is a secondary thing to the game. Like, it's not the focus. The focus is the narrative campaign and moving through it and trying to get all the way to the end and then playing the expansion campaign. I
bet that once you start playing this, you'll be able to reskin it and it'll be probably pretty close to what you want to do.
For sure. For sure. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for players. Dino turn. All right. This boy is going to graze since we've left him alone. So go ahead and roll a scatter for me, and we'll see where he goes. Ooh, he's coming back. Coming back around the corner.
Those things are just like cows.
They are. That's what he's doing.
Old cows.
Chomping. All right. We're going to roll his aggression. Now, he doesn't have anybody in line of sight. There is no noise on the board. So it's just going to be a D6 50-50.
All right.
High's aggressive, low's passive.
You want to give me that dice cam, Matt?
You want to roll it in the dice tray this time?
Yeah, let's see if I can do it. Let me do it like this. I'll be like, okay, well.
Let's try that again.
Yeah.
One more try. Hey, he's passive again. Okay.
I'm too eager, I so rarely get out of my office to play games these days. I get too excited.
All right, D4. D4 to see what he does.
Where's my D4? Am I blind? It's right there, hiding. It's a 1.
1, it moves its speed in a random direction, and then it moves its speed in a second random direction.
This thing's speeding around.
So its passive speed is 5, so it's going to go 5 inches in a scatter direction.
All right.
Okay, it's going to go 5 towards this corner.
All right, we'll go again.
Yep. Up. Okay.
All right. That's not ideal.
That's not great for you.
Well, it's very on theme though, because the
It is.
raptor's actually sneaking around behind me, which
Yep.
is kind of cool.
That's
so-
what he does.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Any advice on dinosaur stats for custom dinos? No. The dinosaur stats for the current dinos are not locked down yet. There's definitely not a way to balance custom
I
ones.
think once you get the game in your hands, you'll be able to build out. You'll be able to pick and choose from different dinosaurs and just
Yeah, the
kinda make your own.
fun thing about the dinosaur stats is the stats are so secondary to what their behavior profiles are, and you could pretty much decide whatever you want for the behavior profiles.
Yeah.
Right? If I roll a 1, it does this. If I roll a 2, it does this.
The other thing
Whatever.
that I think is also kind of important to mention, which I think is a really good thing, is that Doug kind of designed the dinosaurs to be, even though they're kind of presented like a raptor as a raptor or a T-Rex, but they're named not generically, but a little bit generically.
Right.
It's like you could switch out a T-Rex for any other comparable type of dinosaur.
Exactly.
And same for pretty much all of these. It's going to be very easy for you to just use it as like a sandbox guideline. You're like, oh, am I going to use, like the T-Rex as a T-Rex? Oh, there's this other dinosaur I like.
It's like, oh, I really love the Allosaurus. I want to make one of those as an alpha or whatever. Like, you just sub it in whatever mini you want, and then it's fine. It doesn't make any difference.
It's written like specifically to be like really usable that way.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Well, what are you going to do about this?
I guess I'm just gonna die. I'm just gonna submit to the teeth.
Yeah.
Before we worry about that, let's get the good stuff out of the way and get some loot.
Let's do it. All right. So the security guard is going to try to scavenge one of those supply tokens.
Cool.
That I don't have scavenge listed as one of my 3 stats, right? So doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means it's a D10. Gotcha. So you're either good at them, bad at them, or average. Your profile has listed the ones that you're good at and bad at, and if it's not listed, it's a D10.
I was like, did we have a D10?
I'm currently not stressed, so I don't have to roll multiple. I'm not focused, so let's see what happens. Well, that's a 2, so I definitely failed that one. I'm going to use my second action to try again.
Do it.
And a 3. I'm rolling really bad.
You're like, there's too much loot. You can't decide on what to get.
Yeah.
All right.
I heard something outside trying to get into this room, and I'm distracted.
Yeah,
I don't know
hearing
it's
this
the
guy
kid.
getting destroyed. What do we want to do with the kid? Do we want to sneak in?
Yeah, I think the kid's going to try to sneak in, but I think she's going to take her first action to focus, and then we'll use her second action to actually try to get inside. So we'll give her... Oh, my security guard was stressed.
Oh.
Okay, so it wouldn't have mattered, but the way stress works is I would have rolled 2d10. So I would have rolled the first one, which was a 10, and the second one, let's say it was a fail. I roll 2, take the lowest, right? So both of those would have failed. It works out fine, okay? The kid, I think she's going to focus for her first action, so she'll get +1 to her next roll, and then she's going to take her stealth test.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll a d6. We're looking for a 3+.
This one's been good to us, this dice.
It has. I think it's just you rolling. Got him. Didn't even need the focus. All right, so she gets to go
focused.
2 inches inside. We'll just set right over there by the...
I'm a kid,
by the
and
guy.
I've had the most sugar-filled candy, and I'm like
Wired.
super hyper. Yeah,
Wired.
I'm wired. Someone had a good question. Are there going to be STL options for terrain to print ourselves? There is. There's a whole STL pack on the campaign, and we've got plans to do plenty more STLs for it over time. So that's definitely something we've got for sure. All right, so the kid snuck through that bricked up wall, which is kind of funny. And then we just need to decide what to do with this guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, technically I could like move him around and then I'm out of line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
So I could go 3 to here.
Yep, you could.
Which is not bad.
Mm-hmm. You could attempt a hide test where it would allow you to not be in line of sight. So even if he moves close to you next turn, he wouldn't see you.
Does the dinosaur ignore this terrain if you rolled like the scatter?
Yeah.
I'm tempted
Humans
honestly,
move over
I'm
1
tempted
inch.
to move,
Dinos move over 2 inches.
try and get inside the building.
Okay.
So I could go like 3 to here. That 3?
Yep. That's pretty close.
Yeah, and then I could go
Another 3 to get
takes me
inside.
just right in there. I'm home.
We're
I'm
all
the
here.
stuff. I'm home. This is
Better
where I
clock
work.
in.
Yep. Yeah, let me get my time card out.
That's
Punch
right.
it.
Okay, let's see how close these guys are. So he's not close enough for that to trigger yet. So let's see what he does. He's going to graze. Go ahead and roll a scatter for me to see which direction he goes. He's going to walk behind this wall. He doesn't like that raptor over there.
Yeah,
Okay.
He can smell the raptor now.
Yep.
Or hear it. I don't know what
Exactly.
their best sense was.
All right, let's roll for the raptor. D6 to see if he's
D6.
aggressive or passive.
The 5.
He's aggressive.
Okay.
All right, roll a D4. Let's see what happens.
4. I keep losing this D4. It keeps... It's a 4.
It stares at the nearest survivor within line of sight. That survivor gains 2 stress tokens. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He can't see anybody, okay? So if there's no valid targets, we move its speed in a random direction, and then we roll instinct again.
So he's hunting.
Yeah, he's
hunting.
trying to find you. Okay, he's moving away. He's trying to sniff. All right, now we'll roll the D4 to see what happens again.
D4, okay.
Yep.
The 2.
2. It disappears into the foliage. Remove it from the table.
Oh, he's gone.
At the beginning of the next dinosaur turn, return it to the table 2 inches from a random survivor. It resolves aggressive 1.
So he's like snuck off, and he's like, oh, that's
Where
terrifying.
he's gonna appear behind one of us.
Okay, so the raptors are scary because they're like they like hunt you.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
they will disappear.
What if he
and
appears in here?
He might.
That's crazy.
He might drop down from the ceiling on top of us.
That's
We don't know.
awesome. We're gonna die, chat. We're all gonna die. All right, we better start.
Will
searching.
the MDF terrain be exclusive to the current Gamefound campaign? Maybe.
Yeah,
We're not sure yet.
We are. If you know us, we're not FOMO minded. We don't want to like make things exclusive, but we can't commit to stuff being available down the line because we just don't know.
Yeah.
So
with this game not being sold physically pretty much at all, it feels weird for us to still have the MDF.
yeah,
But the MDF is also a very separate product that the MDF's production system is kind of already squared away, so it's probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that we won't have the answer to that until closer to like actual fulfillment.
And we just don't want to,
unfortunately.
we just don't want to promise stuff and kind of let people down. So
Yeah.
Best bet right now is if you really want it, grab it in the campaign. There's a pretty good chance it'll be available, but we just don't.
We're not positive. I would hate to say yes, we'll have it, and then people miss out on it.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Let's do some searching.
Okay. Here we go. The kid is actually pretty good at scavenging. She has a D8. So I think she's going to focus and then scavenge once.
You need to be in base contact with the scavenge token?
Within 1 inch.
Within 1 inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to focus and then roll me a D8.
D8.
Yep, and we're going to get +1 to that roll.
Am I blind? Where's the D8?
They're both touching the 2 D20s. Right there, one right there.
I was like, I'm like,
My brain
I'm
can't
like looking
comprehend
at this
an 8.
stack of dice over here, and I'm like, where's the D8s? All right, so I just need under a 4. Is it unders as success?
No,
overs.
Over.
Okay.
So you're going to get +1 to whatever you roll. Hey, we got it.
I am the best. I got
Okay.
a 6, chat. I got a 6.
Well done. All right. So now that we've successfully got that scavenge token, we're going to roll on the item chart. So roll a D6 to see if we actually found an item when we got those supplies.
It's a 4.
A 4. She got a trauma tourniquet.
Nice. Be funny. Oh, more cigarettes. No.
Well, she can find cigarettes. So.
Maybe the kid can find, if you're playing with young kids, you could, instead of having them find cigarettes, you could just
find candy.
find candy.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever you want to skin it to.
There's a lot of people that do that with Don't Look Back. They'll like tweak it a little bit to make it a bit more kid-friendly. So you could absolutely do that with this game.
It works.
Well, that's cool. We got some supply.
Yep.
Now we need to do the same with Mr. Security Guard.
Yeah, we're gonna focus.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna cheat at my stress this time. Okay, so I need to roll 2 d10s. Did I lose the d10?
Do we have another d10 somewhere?
Nah, it's all right. I can just roll. I can just roll it
take
twice.
out the set.
Well, it doesn't matter because the first one failed. All right, so every time you attempt a test while you're stressed, you roll 2 of the dice that you use, okay? So for me, it's a d10. I would roll 2 of those, and even though this second one passed, it fails because the first one failed, right? Doesn't matter how many stress you have, you remove 1 stress every time you, like, perform a test, okay? And you only get punished for 1 stress at a time.
Gotcha.
So you're slowly calming down as you're trying to do a thing, right? It's not like all of your stress builds up for 1 attempt at the action and then you're no longer stressed anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, that's the security guard's action. What's the staff going to do?
You know the funny thing about the D8 is I've literally written
a D8 game.
which uses D8s.
Yeah.
I've got piles of D8s on my desk, and I'm just like, my brain is fried. So. Pity me, chat.
Yep.
Pity me. All right, so
Staff,
this security guard sucks.
He's awful. He's really bad.
He's super bad. All right. The staff, it's the staff turn?
Yep. And try to get to this one?
Yeah, I mean, is that not quite 3?
No. Now, you could run. There is not a dinosaur on the board. I mean, we have this guy, which is going to move away from you, right? But you're not going to pull the raptor because he's just going to jump on one of us anyway.
When the raptor comes back, he will 100% be somewhere.
He will be within 2 inches of one of us. Yeah, and he's going to attack that player, that survivor.
So this is where I'm thinking maybe we get lucky and we actually move him away. So if we get lucky and he shows up on the the staff
member,
he's out there and these 2 are safe.
we could try that.
But because if he's in here, then
I'll be honest, I'm not convinced that the security guard's going to be able to pick up the scavenge token.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like the staff member might have to go in here.
We're going to go for it, chat. We're going to run.
Because the staff member is the best at doing this.
We are going to run.
Okay, so first action is 6 inches, makes a noise. This dinosaur is going to move away from it.
Yep. What do I need to roll to scavenge?
All right, the staff member has a D6 for his scavenge, but you're stressed, so you got to roll 2 and take the lowest. That raptor barked at you. You're still worried about it.
Give me the dice roll. Okay, let me square this up. Get it all
it's got to be perfect
for
to
my
show the double one.
My double ones coming out right here. Double 3s.
Double 3s. Okay. Well, it does fail. Now, here's a good learning moment, right? If you had had a +1, you would have passed that roll.
Yeah.
But without your +1,
if I'd focused,
you could have focused and then done it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Woof.
All right. Well, here we are. It is raptor time.
All right, chat.
So this is what we're gonna do. It says that it comes back 2 inches from a random survivor. Okay. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a D6. See who we get.
All right, chat. Get your bets in.
We need a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, we want him to show up on the
staff member.
The staff member. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay. So
it's the kid.
It's going to show up right on top of the kid, naturally blocking the door.
Great. Love that.
Okay. And then it's going to perform a 1, which is it lunges towards the nearest survivor within line of sight and speed. If it ends within range, it's going to attack. So he's going to move right through there and be right on top of the kid.
Let's show him with the. Let's
chat.
show him with the free cam.
It's all gone horribly wrong.
Okay, just so you can see what's going on in here.
That's not great.
We're in a tiny room with a deadly dinosaur now.
The one survivor that actually has a scavenge token has now been jumped upon.
It's gonna be bloody.
Okay, let's resolve this attack. So their attack is claws and teeth, and they have a range of 2 inches.
All right.
Now dinosaurs will move all the way up to base contact.
Okay.
But they can attack within that 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
They won't stop at the 2 inches to attack you.
I mean, these are deadly creatures.
Yeah, they're trying to get as close to you as possible. They roll a d6 plus 1 for their attack. Okay? So again, we're looking for over 50% as a success.
All right.
Under as a fail, and we get plus 1 to the roll.
3.
That's it. That'll do it. The damage is 1 hazard die. Every mark you roll is going to be a wound. The kid has 2 wounds.
This is a hazard dice. For anyone who's played Luna would know exactly what this is.
Yeah.
This dice is just a d6. So if you don't want to use these, you can just use d6. It's going to be a handy guide in the book.
Yep.
It's got 1. Got a bunch of blank faces. There's another 1, and then there's a 2 on one side.
Yeah.
So gives you an idea of like how the breakdown on this dice works. Very simple though. You want to roll this one? I feel like
I think you need to roll it.
Okay. That's so much pressure.
It's going to be your fault when she dies.
So if I roll the double slash,
if you roll the double, she's
the
dead.
kid has been eaten.
Yeah.
And it's a 1. If it's a
then
1
she takes
slash,
1 wound.
she takes 1 wound. Okay. So
if it's nothing, we'll resolve the close call.
Yeah. Hold on to your butts, everyone.
This is where we are. It's
Oh,
1.
It's
okay.
1. Okay.
So she has now taken a single wound.
Woof. Brutal.
And is wounded. So from now on, for the rest of the game, she will test like she's stressed until she gets rid of that wound.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how much stress she has, she's always rolling 2,
She did find a
choosing the
tourniquet
lowest.
though,
She did.
which is not bad.
But she's also really bad at medical.
Oh, no.
So
That's understandable. She's just a young child.
yeah, I don't think she knows how to fix a claw wound on her arm.
All right. Well, that was terrifying. So,
All right, player turn. We don't have any weapons.
so
We don't have any distraction.
This noise that I made
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything.
No, it's gone now.
Because I made it before the raptor was on table.
Exactly.
So I could make another noise
Yep.
out here to try and get the door clear. Can you move through a dinosaur?
No.
No. So we need to get it out of the doorway.
Yeah.
And we don't really have anything that can damage
Now the kid
dinosaur.
can try to just get out of here.
Yeah, but there's not really any way for us to like
No.
damage the dinosaur.
Nope. We don't have any weapons. We don't have any stuns. We don't have
The
any
reason
flares.
why I bring this up is that I would not be able to fight a tiger barehanded,
No.
right?
No.
If I was in a room with a tiger, listen, if you're at home, you're gonna be laughing at this. If I was in a room with a tiger right now, maybe I could find like a chair or something, but I don't have much of a chance. And that's kind of what we're going for in this situation.
Yeah.
It's very hard for a regular person to fight a raptor, I would imagine, going by what we maybe
know,
think
yeah.
they might be like. So that's kind of the rationale, right? It's part of that cinema.
I mean, even a dog. Like, a human is going to have a really hard time fighting off a dog if it gets a hold of you, right?
So if you're kind of questioning, like, oh, why can't you, fight against something? That's kind of
Once you have
that
a
was kind of
weapon,
the thought process.
then you can try to do the attack action.
The real
Right.
question is, could Ben win against kangaroo? Well, I already found that out once when I was a kid, when a kangaroo kicked me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
Kangaroo game next. Kangaroo fighting game.
Yeah. I think the best play is noise. Make noise out here, and get that guy.
Now, what we could do is we could have the kid try to get through the wall first to see if that might make a difference in our
Yeah, we could just sacrifice this
decision making.
guy. Security guard.
He's pretty trash at
Kind
this
of
point.
lame.
Yeah.
It's pretty lame. Let's do that. Let's get that. A kid's gonna crawl through a vent
So
in the
we're
wall.
gonna focus for our first action,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna try to get out of here.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm gonna need a 3+
Let's do it.
on 2d6.
I believe.
Nope.
Have
right.
you haven't succeeded.
I
one
have
roll.
not. I have not passed anything this
All right.
entire game.
So we're in trouble now.
All right. I think you kind of have to. I think
Yeah,
you kind of have to.
I'm
make
gonna
noise.
move.
Honestly, what you should do, you could run 6, and then that just generates a noise.
Could I search and then run?
Yeah. Just keep in mind that if this thing gets close enough to you, it will attack you this turn
Yeah, but
because of the noise token.
I'm just wondering if I search and then run, at least I've got something.
I think you should, yeah.
Might be a benefit.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it's a D. What was my?
Yours is a D6.
D6. Okay.
And right now it is a 50-50 because you've removed your stress.
Oh, it's a 2. We're not
Okay.
rolling very good, chat.
No, we're
Come
not.
on. We really suck at scavenging.
Well, it's hard when there's literally a raptor in the room with you.
That's true.
I can imagine it's tough to pick
And then
up
6
Twinkies.
is gonna take me. I only care about the Twinkies right now.
All
That's
right.
it.
The run action places a noise directly where you are,
Mhm.
and he's going to immediately move. Now, he's going to move 5.
That would take him to like the middle of this room right here.
Okay.
And he's gonna be facing
Yep,
towards
he'll
the
be
noise.
facing you. Oh, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. All right, well, the security guard, I think, has to try to scavenge this again. So I'm going to focus and then scavenge.
Yeah, maybe you could just close this door. You know?
If only, can I re-secure a door?
Yeah. If only this guy had written door closing rules
Yeah.
in this game. You rolled a 1 on a D10, bro. Come on. You're crazy. These are the worst rolls I've ever seen in my life. Guys, I hope you have better luck when you play your games of this.
This is a campaign that we just start over.
Yeah.
Right? This is
I love
game
it.
1 of the campaign.
Honestly,
Next game is game 1 of the campaign. Okay?
I am a sucker for this kind of thing. I love losing moments like this. This is just a classic stream game.
All right. Well, dinosaurs. This dude's going to graze. So let's see where he goes. He's still kind of mulling around over in this corner.
Mhm.
All right. You got to roll a 1 for that thing to not be aggressive.
Easy. That's a 5.
D4. Let's see what he does.
It's a 4.
He's going to stare at you.
He's gonna stare at me.
Yeah, you gain 2 stress.
Ooh, okay.
You
Very
gain 2
stressed right now.
stress.
Very
That is
stressed.
probably the best you could have rolled.
Oh, the worst would be the 1.
The 2, where he
The 2.
disappears. Well, the 1, he would have immediately attacked you.
Yeah.
But with the 2, he disappears and then could have attacked the kid again, which would have not been
That
great.
would not have been good. The kid is our path to victory.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Staff turn.
It's way
Well,
more
people-
entertaining watching the train wreck unfold. Well, I'm glad it's entertaining.
I'm happy. I'm happy for you right now.
Hedby said maybe door closing needs to be a thing. Have dinos break them down. Dinosaurs can destroy terrain. Nothing on the table right now is big enough to do that. But if you have a dino that can't fit through a door, it will break its way in.
Someone says, would you consider selling laser files? We've thought about it, but we realized that the way our files are all set up is actually super proprietary, so we'd be giving away a ton of
Yeah, we
I
can't.
mean, it's not a ton, but enough secrets that we wouldn't really want to mess with that. We've thought about it, but it's not on the table right now.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
I
We
think the
need to do
searching,
something.
we gotta, maybe it might be time to risk a search and then crawl through.
I also could try to heal. I do have the tourniquet. It doesn't do much for me.
I mean, the likelihood of this raptor getting back in this room is not. I mean, I guess
It
could
can. It 100%
It
it
did
can.
it once before. They're
Yeah.
intelligent, so.
All right. I think first thing we have to do though is we have to get this stuff scavenged. We
Yeah,
have a
we do.
breath
We
right
do.
now. I think we just try to scavenge, right?
So focus, scavenge for both of
Focus
them.
scavenge with this. Oh, I put those on the security guard. Focus scavenge with the security guard. Now that's my D10. I'm gonna get +1 to this. I got
That's
a
a
10.
10.
Okay.
Okay.
Amazing.
What about the stress?
He's not stressed
Oh,
right
it's
now.
the staff that has the
Yeah,
stress.
the staff
Okay.
member is currently stressed.
What did he find?
Let's find out. Roll a d6 for me, and we'll see.
It's a 5.
A 5 is a pack of cigarettes. So
Smoke
now
'em
he's
if you
got
got 'em.
double the cigs.
Yeah, he's just
Chain smoking.
Smoking.
All right, kid. I guess we could just go ahead and go through the wall with the kid and try to get to this one back here, right? Let the security guard try to get that one and get out.
Did you searched?
Yeah,
You focused and searched?
Yep.
Okay.
So we have 2 scavenge tokens right now. One on the kid, one on the security guard.
I mean, or we just try and snap this one up right now. That gets us to 3, which is what we need.
Yeah, but
right?
then we have to get this one. Because she can only carry 2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if she's going to get another one, I almost feel like she needs to get this one in the back.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's probably pretty smart.
Okay. She's going to focus and then roll her stealth to try to go through this wall using her ability.
What's that?
It's a d6.
She's very stealthy.
She is. That'll do it. So she can move 2 inches through this wall.
Sweet.
Well, that feels good. She's at least out of harm's way for now.
Yeah.
Until this parasaur gets mad and runs over there.
The kid. The staff guy hasn't gone.
No, he is not. Good luck. Good luck, my friend.
He doesn't have anything of value. So I almost kind of just want to like run again and try and get the dinosaur out.
Okay. Let's do it.
Go 6 actually takes me to like on top of this, but I'm going to cheat.
Just be right over the side.
I'm going to cheat and put myself on the other side of this barrier.
Okay.
And then
He's going to move 5 towards it.
right there.
Yep. And this one's going to move away from it.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm telling you, chat, this is the staff member's the hero that we all need in
Yeah.
life.
Imagine just being the guy who has to just run circles around a planter, kiting a raptor.
You were there, you were making minimum wage, cooking hamburgers for guests, and now you have to be the hero. You know,
Yep.
That's exactly what every movie plus sounds like.
All right. That is all of us. So let's do dinosaur turn. This one is still going to scatter because we haven't gone over there and messed with it. It's going to move 2 this way. Board edges, they'll just kind of follow. They'll just stay within the area. This dude, you are not in line of sight here. So he's going to get +1 to his roll. So it's going to be a d6 +1. Let's see what he gets.
It's a 3.
3, so he is passive. Roll a d4 to see what he does. This could be good for us.
It's a 2.
It moves its speed towards the center of the table.
So like where this thing is?
Yeah, but I think its speed is 5. Center of the table, that plant's pretty close.
It's like almost
I
right
think,
here.
yeah, I think for the sake of cinema, we're going to put him like right there, watching the other door.
He heard something, someone clanging around the kitchen.
Yeah.
Question, do you have any dinos that do solo hunting with stealth?
No,
Not yet.
not particularly. There are some that are removed from the table and then added to the table more than others. But there's not one that like just hunts the player. They pretty much, if they see you, they're going to come get you. You know what I'm saying?
Be a cool idea for a future thing, maybe.
Yeah, the Proto-Rex may do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a thing for them.
Okay, our turn.
Yep.
This guy needs to redeem himself. Oh wait, no,
he
there's
just has to try to get to this maybe, or get the heck out of here.
yeah.
I feel like I got to make a run for this door, right?
Yeah.
So we go 3 to here, and then 3 to here.
Try and stay out of line of sight.
Oh,
The
we
kid
have to get this one. We have to get it to get our 4.
isn't the kid gonna get? Oh
Yeah, but still not going to be enough.
So we have to get 4.
No.
But
to
we
get a
want
major
to.
victory,
We're
we have
trying
to
to get 4.
Yeah, our major objective is to get 4. Minor objective is to get 2.
I know of a mammal that hunts humanoids.
Oh, I'm sure there's a ton. There's a ton of very specific stuff out there, and for all of the people who are like really obsessed with dinosaurs and how they behaved and all of that stuff, this is a cinematic game. And we're trying to keep the dinosaurs as loose as possible so that players, if you have one that you like, you can sub it in for whichever behavior profile fits it the best.
Yeah.
Right?
The kids should move up and search.
Yep. Move up and search. Now, I don't have a focus this time, so we'll hope that we roll good. We did roll good. All right, roll that
We're
D6
doing it,
again.
chat. We're doing it.
Roll that D6 again to see if she
It's
gets
a
anything.
3.
Nope, nothing in that one. All right, kid needs to get out of here.
Does accomplishing a major objective versus a minor one in any affect future missions outside of
Yeah, here,
items?
let me read you exactly what the difference is, okay? Major objective is to collect 4. Minor is to collect 2. If you accomplish the minor reward, one survivor that held a scavenge token at the end of the game gets to roll once on the item table. So we get an extra item if we get our minor reward.
That's cool.
The major reward, one survivor that held a scavenge token at the end of the game gets +1 to a single skill. So that
That's
just
very
allows
good.
one of us that has a token at the end of the game just gets one of their boxes right here permanently ticked as a +1.
Yeah, so yes, to answer your question, yeah,
It's
going for the
very
major one
beneficial.
would be really worthwhile, especially when you're just starting out. It's going to be...
It's worth, that +1 is worth losing 1 survivor.
Yeah.
Like really, mathematically, it's probably worth losing 1.
Will you be at ReaperCon this year? Yes, we will. We have the booth booked. We're there. We've been there for the last few years.
Yeah.
It's a good con. We're actually going to do it a little bit more low-key this year, I think, just because we've been super busy. This obviously won't be for sale there, but Doug will be there.
Yeah, we'll have some
at least.
demos probably. Have it set up, maybe look at it.
But yes, we'll be there. We're looking forward to it. So, all right,
Kid has gone.
dinosaur phase. No,
No,
kid, this guy needs to go.
Yep.
Okay. Noise? Question mark?
I don't know if we need it right now.
What should this guy do?
You could start moving this way. Potentially. You know, honestly, this might not be a bad time to just use some calm actions, right? You're double stressed, so one calm action removes a stress.
Okay.
You could just double calm right here and just stop, breathe a
Okay.
little bit, and try to calm
Yeah.
yourself back down.
That's probably worth it. Yeah.
If these get too high, it can kill you flat out. And we also don't want him to get to a point where he has to do something, and then we're rolling into stress.
Alrighty.
Okay, I think that's it for that. Let's go to
Dinos.
dinosaurs.
All right.
This one's going to scatter 2 inches this way. Getting pretty close to the kid over there.
Just gonna hang out with the kid.
Yep,
This one.
yep. Let's roll a D6. No noise on the board, no line
So
of
1?
sight. Passive. Roll a D4. Let's see what it does.
The 4.
It's a 4. It barks into the air. All survivors within 6 gain a stress. I think that's going to be just about
it's
everybody.
He's on the edge. 6
Not
is
quite
right
the
here.
kid. Okay,
I think it's just the security.
just the security guard.
I think so.
Yeah, this one's outside of it.
No,
all
the
right.
kid's like 8.
All right.
So.
Well, security guard.
Maybe he needs to.
Who is already really bad at scavenging.
Slam down some of those cigarettes to calm himself down.
You may have to. Okay.
Alrighty.
I don't feel great about the security guard trying to get these.
He's just not good at searching.
He's bad
He's not
at
good
this.
at
He's
it.
really bad.
Maybe he'll shine if he survives. Maybe he'll shine on another mission. You know.
Yeah. Well, he did open the door for us, so that's worth something, right? Kid's going to start to move around. Security guard is going to focus and try to get this item before that dinosaur comes in and chomps him. All right. D10 twice. That passes. And it passes. Let's go. Even under stress, we got her done.
If the guard did do the job right, we might not be in this predicament. Yeah, that's...
See?
Yeah.
He rolled a 3 for the
He
item,
must
so he
be a
doesn't get
mole
anything.
cop. Oh, poor mole cops. They get a bad rap.
During playtesting, that was the model that I used. Was our little like mall cop guy, the supporting character from DLB.
So this is one of the first models I ever sculpted.
He's so good, man. I love him.
Looking forward to see old Recon. Yeah, it should be fun. We're always happy to hang out. So, is a bunker STL in Gamefound? Is that just an exterior? The plan is to put some interiors in it. The model is quite large, so I'm going to have to kind of chop it up so it'd be much easier to print on printers. So I'll put a few rooms in there and stuff. I don't know how detailed I'm going to go. It'll depend on,
It'll have a playable interior, but it probably won't be super detailed.
Yeah. But that's the plan. So.
All right, so security guard has now picked up the last thing that we need. Now we just need to get out of here.
We got 4. So we got 2 on the kid and 2 on the security.
Yeah.
So the staff is kind of like the expendable one, so to speak.
Yeah. Staff could just book it and get off the table.
Yeah, I mean,
this turn.
Not letting them die would be definitely worth it. And we are going to do it, so we have to escape on this
I think
edge.
so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the security is going to be the tough one. I mean, if I make noise with this guy, it's just going to draw the dinosaur that way, which actually might not be a good thing.
Yeah, getting him between us and where we need to go might not be great at this point.
Yeah, so maybe we do just like run with this guy. But it would suck if this guy gets off the table and someone else dies. But it's not like there's anything we can do.
Yeah, could happen.
So maybe this is the time where the staff just decides to...
He's done his job and he's leaving.
He's just going to double move. What do you reckon? Is that...
I think it's fine. Yeah. Either that...
Although keeping him on the table until they're closer would probably be smarter.
We could do that.
Because then if we do need to make noise...
We have a third person that doesn't have...
So maybe what I do is just like tuck in here and chill out for
You could take a focus.
Yeah.
And just bank one.
Yep, I'll do
Focus will also let you defend yourself if you get attacked by a dino.
Let's do that. Okay.
All of us have activated this turn. Let's go to dinos. This one's going to scatter this way. And let's roll for him. D6 straight up.
It's a 6.
Big aggressive. D4. Let's see what he does.
That's a 3.
3. It caught your scent. It runs to the nearest survivor within its speed. If it ends within range, it will attack. After the attack, it moves itself and the survivor 3 inches forward.
Okay, so what's its speed?
9. Its aggressive speed is 9 inches. So whichever one of us, I think the security guard is closest.
Yeah, I think they're about the same, honestly. But
okay, let's let the dice decide.
Yeah,
what do we want? Highs, lows?
Yep.
It's the security guard.
Yep.
That was an 8.
Okay, so he's going straight in here.
Yep. Yeah, just like that. Okay, now he's going to attack the security guard. He has a D6 plus 1 to see if his attack is successful. 2 plus 1 is 3. It fails. So he jumped across the counter, missed me with his bite, but getting attacked by a dinosaur, even if they don't chomp you, is going to have negative side effects. Okay. So the way the dinosaur attacks work is they have a range, a stat that they use, which for this was the D6 plus 1, how many hazard dice they roll if they hit, and then they have a close call. Okay. So if at any point the attack is not going to do anything to the survivor, you then resolve the close call.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that can mean like right now, if he missed, we'll resolve the close call. If he hit but rolled no wounds, you also resolve the close call.
Gotcha.
Okay. So for the close call for this is the target gains 2 stress tokens. So I am big stressed now.
Because there's a raptor in your face trying to bite you.
Yep. And he does go ahead and move me back because that's part of the aggressive behavior. Gotcha. It doesn't matter whether he hits or not. So you're
basically pushed
So I'm pushed into the corner and he follows me all the way.
All right. We'll see if...
Two of our scavenge tokens.
Good thing we kept this guy on the table.
It's probably good. Yeah, I think that was a good decision.
All right, the kid, you want to just start running?
Yeah, I think she probably needs to move 3 and then run.
Move 3 and then 6.
And then 6 to generate the noise. Because we can't afford for the raptor to get to her.
Yeah, so 6 would put her like right here.
We'll generate that noise.
And then the
raptor's going to go 5 directly towards her. Peeking through the door again.
Yep.
All right. Staff member. You want to like...
I mean, honestly, it's probably the time to make some
Take
noise.
him off table now.
I think let's keep him because I have this thought in my brain that we're going to have to make like noise at the last minute to get
you're probably
them to
right.
safety. So, I mean,
we could move him to this corner.
Yeah,
just like
let's do that.
move to right here so
Let's
that
do
he's
that.
prepared to like make a noise in the furthest.
Yep, he'll like knock
Section
and shout
possible.
over there. So, I guess security.
So I've got to get out of here.
Move and then run.
Yeah, I think I go 3 to here. And then 6. Oh,
Does
that's
this
gonna
noise
be
stay on the table?
Yep,
or-
it stays. Oh, and this dino should have moved for the noise. Oh, man. Oh, man. Okay, we're going to go 6.
Flip the counter.
Flip the
over.
counter as I jump over it. That's going to make a noise. Raptor will move 5 towards me, which is really close. Please don't be within 2.
No.
Okay.
You got like 3 and a half.
Now,
Whoops.
I'm going to dig deep, I think. It's like guaranteed to be aggressive next turn, and I really don't want to be like right in front of it.
Well, sometimes you just die.
I don't think I have a choice.
Dinosaur just dies.
I don't think I have a choice at this point. Yeah, I'm not going to dig deep because I don't want to double my stress up to 4.
What does dig deep do?
It allows me to take a 3rd action
But you
this
take a
turn,
stress?
but I double how much stress I have.
Ooh, that's a lot of stress. You'd
Yeah.
have 4.
Yeah, and if you have no stress, it goes up to 2. So
Okay. That's a lot of stress. But would it allow you to run?
I mean, I could run, but I'm just going to pull it another 5 inches. Like, it's not going to... See, this is the thing with the noise, right? I can continue to run from it, but it's never going to be further away from me than that. Like, it's just going to be that close to me, because I'm going to move 6, and make a noise, and it's going to move 5. So it'll be an inch further away.
Can you throw the supply tokens? Is that a mechanic?
No, but I could give them to another player, another survivor, if there was a survivor within 2 inches.
I'm just wondering if we don't just try and risk it. Because like you could run and then we can move this guy up. We just right now we have to get
listen,
this guy off the table.
It's better for, let's think pragmatically, okay? It's better for the raptor to be further away from these two.
Yeah.
Because the only other thing that happens is I move and then the raptor's right here in the middle of the mix.
Yeah.
So it's probably better for it to just stay right there for now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree.
All right, let's go to dinosaur turn. Homie back here, he's going to graze. He's just chilling.
Love it.
This thing is automatically aggressive. It can see 1 and gets +1 from each of these, so it's a 6, no matter what.
All right. I roll a d4.
D4, let's see what it does.
It's a 2.
And it is going to be, I wasn't doing this earlier and I forgot about it. The aggression roll is actually modified by what it can see as well. So it is most definitely going to, this roll is not. It's a 2.
Oh, he's gone. He's disappeared. He looks back and there's no
I ran
raptor.
from it, got outside, took a breath, turned around, and it's gone.
Well, we might get lucky and he might show up on that dude's, but maybe not.
Probably not. Probably not. Okay. Here's where it comes down. Okay. It has run away. We need to get off the board. I think we can double run with everybody and just make it off.
Okay, so maybe
That was the best thing that it could have
So
possibly
that's
rolled.
6, and then you could dig deep and go further.
Well, it only takes 1, so I can run to here, make a noise,
oh,
which
you can
doesn't
double
matter.
run.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
And then I can run again to get off the table. You can move off the table. The kid can move over the hood of that car.
Okay, so 6 over. Is that what you mean?
Yep. Yeah, so
Puts
she
me
can move
there.
right over there, and then she just needs to go 6 to get off the board. Okay. Let's go! We've done it!
That was stressful at the end.
It was. We did take a
Okay,
win.
so that 2 roll was actually super lucky.
It ended up being the best roll we could have gotten.
Someone's gonna get snacked. Not today.
Not today.
Not today. We got out with all the supplies.
So, since we got 4 supply tokens, we do get our major victory, which means we can pick one of them to get a +1 permanently to one of their stats.
Okay.
Right? So, my vote would probably be the kid.
Yeah, the kid was pretty good. I mean, the security guard also was super bad, so maybe he could actually do with the +1.
Also, giving, we could try to plan for having the security guard be beefier once we get some weapons. We could give him +1 to his attack. So when he rolls a d6 for attack, it gets better. My vote would probably be the kid in stealth, so that she can, that's like a survivability thing. It'll help keep her alive longer.
Keeps it basically like a +1 on the d6 roll means that your chances are very good.
Oh,
anytime
it
you
raises it by like, what, 13% or something?
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. That plus a focus means you only fail on a 1.
Yeah, let's do
Which
that.
is
Give the
huge.
kid a +1.
Sick. I got the pen right here.
Well, chat, we did it. We did it.
Well done. Go team.
Shout out to everyone who stuck around for the entire game. You're the best in the world, best in the universe.
Yep.
There was a question in the Discord that I just saw show up
Let's answer it. Let's answer it right now.
from Sven in the Discord. Did I hear correctly
Sven.
in the stream that physical products for We Played God won't be available after the Gamefound campaign?
Yes.
Or was that specifically referring to the terrain components? I.e., will my friendly local game store that carries BSS products have the book available? Yes, the book.
Oh, the book, yes.
100% will be available. Both books, most likely the books, the token sheet, we would absolutely have those available. What we won't be selling after the campaign is any of these dinosaurs physically. They're just going to be STLs after the campaign. And the MDF also a bit of a question mark. Most likely, but we're not going to commit to that being available.
We're not sure at this point.
We may just cut it, ship it, move on to, we may want to make a new kit. So if you do not have a 3D printer, the physicals are available. They are priced, they're not cheap because these are, as you can see,
It's a giant model.
these are pretty big dinosaurs. So understandably, they're a bit more expensive than your average miniature, but they're still cheaper than Space Marines. So shots fired. So yeah, just a heads up on that. You can use any miniatures you want for the game. You can use any dinosaurs that you want. It's really up to you. The books though, 100%. Yeah, we're going to print a whole bunch of those. So we're really
Especially
excited.
with how good it did and is doing in the Gamefound, it's pretty clear to us we need to have some on hand.
We just, as I explained before, if you're new to chat, this is supposed to be tariff resistant, tariff proof.
It's not
for
proof, but
for us, books are not subject to tariffs currently in the current way we print them, which is great. It's really good for us. We can print softbacks here in the United States, but we can't print hardback books in the US at any reasonable price. So those have to be done in either Europe or in China, which is where we currently print them. So, are there any BSS additional terrain kits you would recommend getting to complete the campaign? Any other kits you think? The hangar would be...
Yeah, hangar's good.
Yeah.
Hangar's good. The side office is good. Any kind of near future modern kit like that is fine. The game takes you through like a residential area where the staff are, so you can use houses. There's like pretty much any of the modern / Zaibatsu stuff that we have is usable. So I did see a question up there that says, how long do you think a game will take while you're learning the rules?
It kind of depends on the person, I think. Really.
Yeah, so I think the game that we just played is probably comparable to what your first game is going to look like.
Yeah, because
we stopped and talked to chat and messed around a little bit. I mean, so if you guys watched the gameplay like spotlight video that we did, that video is like 15 minutes, okay? From the time we started filming, like me and Connor came in here and started, to the time we were done filming was an hour. The actual gameplay of that was probably like 40 minutes. So once you learn the rules, the games are very, very, very quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and keep in mind that that's definitely a highlight video.
Exactly.
The boring part.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a few people that I think were a little bit like. There was one person in particular that was like, why did you?
He was real offended that
like, why didn't you
it
show
wasn't
the full
a real game.
It's like the goal for that was we wanted to make something short enough that your average person who just want to see the gameplay in a really concise manner could watch it and kind of get the gist of the game.
Right.
The goal is this a game that I would like to play? Yes or no? Like, we kind of need them to get that information and figure that out as quickly.
So his big argument was like, there were a couple times where we made a roll land a certain way so we could show a specific mechanic. That's the whole point of the video, is for us to show you the mechanics. So if I like ran out and got eaten by the Spinosaurus in turn 1 because that's what really happened, that doesn't make for a good video. So there were like 2 or 3 things that we slightly doctored a roll just to show a mechanic.
Yeah.
But me and Connor played through the game, and that's what happened.
And you can see, like, we played through an entire game. Anyone who sat here and watched this can see.
Yeah.
I mean, this actually played out in a really similar way as that video, as that video ended up.
It's a highlight video, so we want to highlight the important parts of the game.
Exactly.
Even if we have to fake like 1 or 2 things.
So, you know, I think it was kind of interesting. I think that I'm trying to think of like some of the other common questions. I think the only other question that's consistently come up, which there's some of this stuff in the FAQ on the pages, how many people can you play with?
That's a good question.
If you've got a group of like 10 friends, for example, well, let's say it's you and 3 other friends. You can each control. We could have 4 people play this game
for sure
right now.
Yeah,
because you drew up 4 survivors, but you could have drawn up 6.
Exactly.
Now, where it gets a little murky is if a survivor dies off.
So here's the way to think about it, right? It's a little different from most skirmish games, so you're going to have to track with me on this. There's not a specific number of players. This campaign is designed for 1 hideout, right? So however many people are in this hideout are the amount of people theoretically that you could have play the game.
Yeah.
There is no rules that specify how many players anything at all. The players don't matter. All that matters is the number of survivors on the table. So this is a good example. Ben and I are 2 people that played 3 survivors, and we just kind of cooperatively played them all. It wasn't like I was this guy and he was that guy.
Yeah.
Right? We kind of made choices together. So what I've been saying is usually the max is probably going to be around 6, because most hideouts start with 6 survivors. Once one dies, they're gone permanently. So you may struggle, you know, if you have like a friend that gets lost in round 1 or something. But
I think, I mean,
it's designed for like 2 to 3 players.
Yeah.
You could play with more, but it's going to slow things down, and it's going to be a little weird.
I think that's kind of depends on your group and like how willing people are to kind of embrace the cooperative play.
Exactly.
Because like personally, if I was playing, like let's say Connor was right here, me and him could play 1 character together.
Right.
I don't mind doing that personally. Some people may not enjoy that as much. They may want their own character to play. But if you play like that, then it kind of means that maybe characters take more ownership of their character, and if they die, maybe it just makes it even more impactful. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a cooperative game. You can always just like get them another character.
Doss asked, have you guys figured out the discount for the playtesters? That will be handled during Pledge Manager. We'll figure that out after the campaign closes. What the easiest way to handle that is.
Yeah, that's something on our website we can handle that super easily, but Gamefound's a bit of a new platform for us, so we're like a little bit like unsure. Speaking of Pledge Manager, actually, there's been a few questions of when the Pledge Manager will be available. Like full disclosure, I'm not 100% sure when we would open the Pledge Manager for this. Late Pledge opens like, I think we can do it 15 days after the campaign. What makes the Pledge Manager a little bit awkward, and I don't 100% know this, is like we can't charge shipping fees until right close to the when we need to. Like, it's not in our interest to make you pay for shipping now and then, you know, in Q1 of next year, the shipping is like 10 times expensive or whatever.
Or cheaper.
Or cheaper.
And you ended up paying double what you needed
exactly.
to pay.
So I need to talk to Gamefound about that, because when I was looking into it, I couldn't see a way to like do it without the shipping. I'm sure there's a way, I just haven't quite
We'll just have to figure it out.
Yeah. So Pledge Manager will be like a whenever it's available kind of thing. But there will be a Pledge Manager. So if you back and you just get the books and you really want to, you're like, I really wish I got some physical minis, you'll have a chance in the Pledge Manager to do that.
We had a couple saved questions that Matt caught through the game. First one, who made We Played God?
Who made We Played God?
We did.
We did.
We did.
Who asked that? Who asked that question?
For anybody that's new, if you're coming in from the Gamefound campaign and don't know us, I'm Doug. I'm head of production here at Black Site. Yeah. This is Ben. He's
Connor.
one of the owners. This is
Connor
Erikstad.
I was born in Texas. No, we did. It was Doug wrote it. Doug also wrote Hametsu.
Don't play that game.
So Doug has experience as a writer. I am one of the co-owners. Doug has been with us for how many years?
Too long.
And I guess
this is now the third building we've moved to, so I'll say that.
We were standing at a convention, and I was like, you know what would be really sick is a dinosaur game.
He's going to out me right now.
And Doug immediately was like, please let me do that. Please let me do that. And I was like, yeah, we should. And immediately, like, we just like launched straight into it. It was like one of those things of, I mean, it seemed like you just sat down and you like knew exactly what you wanted.
I struggled a little bit because we knew we wanted to do a dinosaur game, right? And at that point, it was like, okay, what do I go with? Do we do like a cool kind of miniature skirmish PvP, like dinosaur fighting game where you get to control these dinosaurs? And every time I like started to get into that, this was just like tickling the back of my brain. I was like, I just want a survival game where you have to try to get out of this terrible situation. And we landed on it, and it kind of just ended up that way. It's funny too, because this game probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the tariffs, right? Because we had summer and fall planned releases and stuff like that that weren't tariff resistant.
I mean, anyone that says check your phone.
It was one of those things where like we sat down and had a meeting, and we were like, okay, we're gonna have to push some of this stuff back. What can we produce quickly in-house that is resistant to the tariffs, right? And this was one of the options.
Yeah, I don't know why you're wanting me to look at Connor, but that was chaotic. Connor's like, check your phone, and I'm like, what are you sending me? Yeah, I think we keep our production schedules like fairly like slimmed down. We don't, we typically don't, like, we're not planning stuff for like 2 years from now. We have some like loose plans, but we kind of do that specifically because of these types of reasons. It feels like every year
there's some point,
like a global pandemic, just we can't get MDF, we can't do this, we can't do, it's like there's always something going on. And so as a small business, we like to keep things pretty lean and reactive.
Yeah, and for all of the people that I know, there's been this is another thing we could touch on, I guess. There's been a lot of people that have been kind of hesitant with this because it's crowdfunding. If any of you guys are new, a lot of this stuff is stuff we've produced. We've made like 10, 12 games, something like that at this point, and written them, designed them, produced them, sent them out. They're all live. You can buy them. Just because it's crowdfunding, it's very different for us. It's not like this is a project we're trying the first time. We've done this before. We have all of the knowledge that's needed to go into this.
Yeah, I think that's
to be able to do it successfully and fulfill it on time.
That's a good point. Like, we really wanted to do, it's like with the tariffs kind of floating around and it being such a really big kind of disruptive element for us, we wanted to just like go back to basics and we'd be like, we know how to make a book. We know how to make tokens. We know how to print miniatures. We know how to make MDF.
Yeah.
Let's just do what we know we're really good at and see if we can have some extra success with that. For anyone that's new, typically when we release these types of games, we just do them and put them up on our website. We just fund them ourselves. And now we're sort of experimenting a little bit with crowdfunding. It's been kind of cool because I feel like we've had some additional new people.
The new people are fun. Yeah, it's fun getting like, new faces in the Discord to come hang out.
And that's been really good. And I think it's been a really good experiment for us. And I think I think based on the success of this crowdfunding project, we really want to do more crowdfunding. We just always really want to go into things in like a really considered way. We really don't like taking a lot of like, oh, just do it and see what happens. Like, we're not really that kind of business. We really like to take things like slow and steady, sometimes at our own detriment, but it's better long term for us because it means we take a lot less like crazy risks.
Yeah, exactly.
With the all-in pledge, is anything later down the line included as well? Like, do you mean future unannounced releases or
like stretch goals?
I mean, the stretch goals, yeah, those will be all included.
The stretch goals are interesting because I was looking at them today, and I don't think there's anything in those that is like tier specific. Like, all of the PDF expansions will just go up on the website as free content for everybody.
We did that intentionally because we wanted we wanted as many people backing to kind of be able to get some of the stretch goals.
So like, even if you just buy a book, like, you're going to get all of the free PDF stuff that's on the website. You're going to get the double ribbons that come in the book, right? You're going to get the extra art. You're going to get the stuff that goes into the book. The only thing you won't get is like if there's a specific product that's being enhanced by that stretch goal.
Yeah, like the standees, I guess.
So the standees with the survivors going into them, you're obviously not going to get a benefit from that if you're not buying the standees. If you are not getting the digital STL pack, you're not going to get the digital STL bonus stuff that goes into that terrain pack.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? But none of the stretch goals are going to be tied to specific tiers. Like, it's all either going to be free or you have to have a specific item to get it. Right?
What survivor types are there?
So currently there are 10 now.
10
survivor types.
One for each finger.
Let's see if I can remember them offhand. We have staff, security, programmer, kid. That's easy because those are the 4 that we had here. We have doctor, scientist, patron. What's the last one that I'm missing? Trainer. So that's the 8 basic ones that started the game. And then we unlocked the influencer and the manager. If you guys haven't seen those sculpts, they are amazing. The influencer has a selfie stick. He's just like filming himself with a Triceratops hat on.
He's living his best Disney life.
I'm really excited about the manager too because I figured out what her ability is going to be. She's going to be able to roll a test whenever somebody else digs deep, and they only gain a single stress instead of doubling
management
their stress.
Mindset, right?
So
there.
she can like dole out extra actions, which I think is going to be fun.
The different survivors will for sure have a lot of different utility, which is really good. Are there different sizes when it comes to dinosaurs going inside a building?
Kind of. So currently, doors, like we talked about this a little earlier, doors don't really matter right now unless it's a secure door. Okay, if it's a secure door, then nothing's getting through it. But if a dinosaur can't fit through a door, like if their base won't go through the doorway, there's a mechanic where they will be able to break their way in. So you're not going to be able to hide in tiny little rooms and get through it.
That T-Rex is going to come get you.
Yep.
All right, we'll wrap up here. Would you consider having an expansion for mammalian threat? Oh, we already spoke about that.
Maybe. I mean, really, the expansion that I would like to do is getting a PDF on the website that is a like build your own dinosaur creator, where you just slot in the things that you want. And then you can make whatever fancy dinosaur, mammal, apex predator, whatever that you decide you want.
Yep, you can make a crazy, monstrous creature thing if you wanted to. That kind of keys into future content stuff. We chat all the time about cool ideas. We definitely have some ideas for future stuff. Obviously, the game has to be made and shipped first, which is great. But we've got some plans. Definitely, I would say second half of next year, we'd love to do some more content.
I'm going to spoil a little something. Ben talked to me this morning about potentially doing an event at Adepticon for the game. Maybe. If you guys go to Adepticon, that might be an option. Also, if you're going to Adepticon and you're interested in helping run that event, let me know.
Oh yeah, if you're into running events, we got shout out to Ethan and Ben who always help us with
Hero of Canton in chat there.
Big shout out to them. Yeah, if you're coming to Adepticon and you want to volunteer, we always I feel like make it worthwhile to do so.
Somebody asked, would you recommend any paint brands? I like Vallejo. Pro Acryl's super good.
Yeah. You've been using those new army paint. Did you?
No, I haven't got them yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I want to, and I may soon.
I don't paint much anymore. I feel like I can't. I always liked Pro Acryl a lot. If I was going to be painting dinosaurs, I'd probably just like
speed paints.
Speed paints
are contrasts.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a ton
these painted up literally in minutes.
There's
with
a
contrast
ton
paint.
of texture on these that would really work well with that type of like super fast painting.
Yeah.
So, I just want to thank everyone who's backed so far. This release has really exceeded anything that we thought it would be at.
100%.
Like I said, the goal was 10K. We had stretch goals up to 40,000, I think, and those just like got slammed
the first couple hours,
which is crazy. If
wild.
That gives you an idea of what our potential hopes for it was. So we're super thankful.
Yeah.
Just remember, like, we're a really small business, and we just really like making games and making cool stuff and shipping it and making sure all of our staff has got work to do and we can keep the lights on. So huge shout out to everyone that's jumped in on this.
For sure.
It's really appreciated.
Make sure to hop over to the Discord. All of us, all of the staff, all of the writers are pretty active in there most days. So if you want to come in and talk to us, and there's a whole section about We Played God, if you want to come in and talk about your favorite dinosaur and all of that kind of stuff.
Super dinosaur obsessed people are just
I love it.
They're like throwing out all these random dinosaurs and I'm like, what is this thing? And occasionally someone will suggest something and I look it up, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
There are honestly a couple in there, I'm like, I've never seen this before.
I'm like, this is fake. You've just made this up.
Yeah.
But no, it's really funny. So yeah, big shout out to everyone who's been super enthusiastic about it. Honestly, we're really excited and hopefully you enjoyed the game. Doug and I, we might play another one next week.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
The campaign ends next
Tuesday?
No, it's
Thursday?
Thursday. I think it ends Thursday, I think. But we might do another one next week. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do the next game in this session. Yeah. Shout out to everyone who hung out. This was super fun. Thanks for playing.
Thanks, guys.
We'll
Take care.
See you next time.
Bye.
See you.